guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm at this undisclosed location and we have a special 2019 Honda Civic here. And what makes this extra special, this is my first ever on Rady's Rides media press fleet vehicle. So basically American Honda has let me borrow this car for a week. They've loaned it to me so that I could get all the ins and outs, experience it as a daily driver, and see really what is happening with the Honda Civic. So let's talk a little bit of history before we dive into this one. Honda Civic's been around since the 1970s. It's been that go-to for reliable, fun transportation. Things have changed over the years. The way the cars have looked have changed over the years, but still true to this day, the spirit of that original Honda Civic is definitely in this four-door sedan. Now this one is a special sport package. So what that means is that for $1,700 more than a Civic LX, you're gonna get some extra fun underneath the sheet metal. It's gonna allow this car to actually handle a lot better than a standard trim Honda Civic. So let's go ahead, dive into this 2019 Honda Civic Sport. So like I said, with the new Civic, they decided to take that design fully 21st century. Like the way they have the headlight housing. Also think so smart on this particular one, that beautiful gray color, and everything's been blacked out. This has been an area that a lot of debate has gone on, a lot of arm wrestling, thumb wrestling, and just overall people arguing on what type of design should happen in these lower corners. I like what they did, and let me explain why. I like the flat black, nice and smooth. If you look, I'll have Tom show you, there is some functionality to this piece here. And what's nice is that you're gonna get the fog lamps down there. Really gives it a wonderful look all the way across the front. Nice clean design. They blacked out everything except for that shiny Honda H logo. You know, goes all the way back. So many decades of just great Honda products. I really think it was super smart the way they took the lower lip spoiler, integrated it into the front fascia. Nice clean look, flat black. And like I said, from left to right, just a clean look. You can see the functionality of the vent down here. Very nice overall appearance. Now when it comes to the hood, I think they hit the nail on the head. Love the body lines. And right here, this little curve really gives it a lot of character that helps separate it from the rest of those subcompact and compact cars. Now as we come around the fender, this is where it really starts to get good. I like the look of this wheel. What's interesting is that this wheel is pretty much the same design as what you get on other Civics, but I like the way it's been blacked out. Gloss black, a nice bit of like black aluminum around each of those edges there. It's an 18-inch wheel, nicely placed. These are Goodyear tires. Eagle Sports are gonna give you some decent grip, but also give you durability. Now underneath that fenders, we were talking about the Sport. It's gonna have increased stiffness to the suspension, thicker anti-roll bars. That's gonna help this handle like a little fun sports car, believe it or not, even though you got full four-door capability. As we continue down the side, so nice to see they took that beautiful metallic gray, brought it into the mirrors. Now I am gonna zonk this. I would like to see the LED turn signals, but remember, at this price point, which you're looking around MSRP around $21,000, I think they really got a winner with the overall balance of where the money's being spent. As we go down the side of the car, just a little bit of chrome trim, everything else blacked out. This does have keyless entry, which is really nice. And as we continue, that rear quarter window, I love the way that they take the trim, comes to a nice point, and then out back, they took a gloss black, very tasteful trunk lid spoiler. Now what's great about it is I love how Civics have such a unique taillight design. When you're behind a Civic, especially at night, you know exactly what it is when it's being lit up. And if you look, it's almost like they ended the taillight housing perfect to start with that deck lid spoiler, just enough kick up. And as we drop down, you have your Sport badge and the Civic badge. What I would like to have seen this being the Sport if these were blacked out. I think it just would have added, especially with the front compared to the back. And then this lower bumper has been redesigned to really have an aggressive style diffuser and an exhaust that's very similar to the Civic Si. That's that HDMI kind of plug-in exhaust. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's one of those things, am I the biggest fan of it? No, but you know what? It does just keep a nice, clean, cohesive look to the back. why don't we pop open that hood and see what the heck is producing power for the Civic Sport. All right, guys, here we are. Hood is popped. I'll have to admit, on this hot day, it's about 105 degrees right now out in this parking lot. It is a little hot in the hood, and one thing I wish Honda would have put is one of those little rubber guards here to at least give you a place to put your hands while you're having to take the prop rod and stick it underneath to keep the hood open. But what you're looking at, that is a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine. Remember, when we say naturally aspirated, no turbocharger or supercharger. What you're looking at the end of the day, it's an inline 4, 158 horsepower, 138 foot-pounds of torque. Here's the wonderful thing, everybody. This one is mated to a 6-speed transmission. So thank you, Honda. Hashtag save the manuals, hashtag driving fun. This car, it may not have a ton of horsepower. You could go spend some more money, about $4,000 or $5,000 more at MSRP and get yourself an SI, but you know what? Overall, it is truly a fun car to drive. I've been driving it for the past week, and very clean underneath the hood. What I like about it, you don't have a bunch of plastic covers. You clearly know where the engine starts, where it ends. You got the exhaust right here, everything, your alternator, everything is nicely placed out. ABS control is back there near the firewall. So Honda really does know how to put a very clean engine compartment. But why don't we go ahead and fire up this inline 4 2-liter and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, here we are, interior of this 2019 Honda Civic Sport. Like I mentioned earlier, MSRP is around $21,000, $1,700 for the Sport. You're gonna get some extra touches. You get this wonderful leather shift knob. You get this really stylish and functional leather wrapped steering wheel. Let's see what we're looking at the door panels. Now, the door panels do have a lot of black, but you know what? There's some silver there to break it up. The armrests have a nice leather style material. They are on the softer side, especially when you're looking at Honda products. No gloss black, so you don't have to worry about your fingerprints and all that mumbo jumbo. As you transition from the door panel to the dash, nice soft material. I like the simulated stitching, and I'm really digging this. It's almost like a black golf ball design style. I'm glad they went that route rather than the faux carbon fiber, because it seems that everybody and their mother has faux carbon fiber in their car. So I do like this finish, especially with the silver. Here's our infotainment system with the AC vents nicely placed with a little bit of silver trim. You can see all the different functionality, and it's very easy to navigate through, which is great. And you could always hit the home button here, but if you notice, I go into info. We got our trip computer. You could check out what kind of MPGs you're getting. You could hit the back button and wind up finding out other settings. If you hit climate, now here's the interesting thing. You do have your good old-fashioned radio knob, so if you like listening to your tunes and you want to fine-tune it exact, you can use the knob. You also have knobs for the AC as well. But if you don't want to use the old-fashioned knobs, hit climate, and now you could adjust it this way. So you do have some functionality and some different variety of how you want to get through different things as we come down. Now, if you're wondering why is the USB plug here, they actually have it down here. So you have a dual plane center console, which I like this design. I have my garage door opener down here, but the only catch is that if you want to use USB up here, you got to use this cord that is supplied, and then basically you're just going to take your cord and just plug it in like that. So some people may love that, some people may hate that, but if you want to have it closer to you, you're going to have to use that little piggy tail cord. This one, like I said, 6-speed transmission. You know what? Overall, being just a Civic Sport, pretty short throws, and it really has a nice feel to it. Now, when we take this for a drive, I'm going to talk about some of the overall feedback that it gives you, but sitting here in this parking lot, it feels very engaging as you go from gear to gear. You do have just a little bit of gloss black here. You have an eco mode, but there is no sport mode. So kind of weird how there's no sport mode on the Sport model, but you do have an eco mode electric e-brake. You have your dual cup holders, and Honda does it very smart. If you have a super big gulp, you actually just slide the tray back, and then you can put your super big gulp right here. You also have another USB down here, and then this armrest also slides as well, which is really nice, and opens. So you have plenty of room in there to put whatever you need to. And then the seats. For the Sport, you get a little bit of the leather features to it with the cloth. The cloth has a great durability. I like the extra fabric that they use for the design, and I like the leather style material on the bolstering. But they're very, very comfortable, very supportive. 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom in here. No problem with that. Why don't you come on over to the business end and I'll show you what's going on behind the wheel. All right, guys, we're behind the wheel of this 2019 Civic Sport. This is what I was telling you about. So you do have manual controls, but with the Sport package, you get the same pedals that's out of the SI and the same pedal that's out of the Type R. Good size dead pedal. I just wish it was aluminum to match the 3 pedals here. Steering wheel, same story. This is with the Sport package, $1,700. Love the leather, love the thickness. I really think it was so smart to go with a lighter crisscross pattern. You got your classic Honda badge, a little bit of gloss black, and then you have your buttons to go through your different things with your dash. Dash is full digital. So in the center, you have the tachometer, speedometer. You then can go through different information like fuel range and whatnot. Very functional, easy to read, easy to see. Why don't we go ahead? We've seen the front. Let's go ahead and check out the back seat of this Civic Sport. All right, guys, back seat time in the 2019 Civic Sport. The wonderful thing is that with all this black fabric, it's gonna hide all fingerprints and things like that. And you think about it. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of headroom back here, even with the low sloping roof, lots of room. You can see how they brought that leather style material to the back seat. My only zonk really is I wish that they would at least give you 1 USB, but of course if you go up a higher trim level, you'll get that with no problem. There's also no center armrest what to speak for. So it's one of those things that overall very comfortable. It would be nice to have an armrest. It would be nice to have a USB. Other than that though, I think the $1,700 with the driving experience is gonna be well worth it. Let's check out the trunk. All right, guys, time to check out what type of junk can you put in the trunk of a Honda Civic. Quite surprising, a lot of space. I'm gonna put at the end of this video, I did a Costco run in this car. You could actually fit a lot of stuff in this trunk. What helps is very large opening, and those seats are gonna do the 60-40 split. What I like is that Honda engineers are smart. They put the levers right here for you to be able to fold down those seats very easily. But that's really the key to this car, is that you could drive a car. You don't have to go get an SUV or a CUV or whatever, and you could actually have that enjoyment in driving with your manual transmission. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and take this one for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving our undisclosed location. We're in the 2019 Honda Civic Sport. And like I said, driving this vehicle, it's actually quite surprising. The car only weighs about 2,900 pounds. You have this nice leather wrapped thick steering wheel, very sporty steering wheel. You got the tachometer and your speedo smack dab in the center. And then you got that wonderful 6-speed. Now, is the 6-speed as great as in the SI? No, it's a little gummy, so to speak, but once you like turn up the wick, it actually isn't so shabby. Rolling away in the lower RPMs, it does take a while to build up some steam, but once you get going and you have the tachometer and the higher revs, you roll on the throttle and she keeps pulling, which is really nice. Brake pedal has a great feel, great feedback, great modulation, so I'm happy to see that. And at the end of the day, at this price point, I think this is a really great package. On top of that, you're gonna get all the safety features. So you're gonna get lane keep assist, you're gonna get the emergency braking, lots of great things that you expect in a car safety-wise in the 21st century. Over the bumps, even with the retuned suspension. Remember, it's got different control arms, the shocks have been revalved. Even with all that, the ride is still very compliant, very comfortable. So if you're worried, oh man, am I gonna get beat up in this Civic Sport over you know, some bigger bumps in the road, you really are not. Pulling away though, clutch is feather light. I love the clutches in Hondas, they're feather light. There is a little bit of rev hang that takes place. Not too bad, but it is present. Going into this left hand, downshift in a second. on the brakes. Front wheel drive, it handles really great. Look at this. Tracks out, apex, third gear, very nice. What's wonderful about the gearbox is that when you go from that second to third, you know it's gonna go into gear. It lines up very nicely. There's a lot of gearboxes out there that when you go to do that second to third, it's like you gotta say a prayer and put a quarter underneath your pillow for the gearbox fairy, because sometimes hitting that third it's a real mystery. But with this gearbox, very nice, easy to do. I like the infotainment. You would think that because it's slanted forward, it would actually have a lot of glare. It does not. Real easy to read. If you don't want to go through the knobs, you could do it all digital on the screen, make it disappear. Third gear, second gear, very smooth. The engine is super smooth in here. That's another thing that I love about it. But rolling away, if you are new to the manual transmission club, first of all, I want to welcome you. I hope you stick around for a while. Second of all, you're gonna love this car because the clutch is so light that it makes engaging and pulling away from a dead stop very, very easy. And that's the wonderful thing that I love about any of the Honda Civics, whether it's an SI, a Type R, or this Civic Sport. They are very good when it comes to where the pickup point is and where it feeds out as you release your foot off of the clutch pedal. Driving on the highway, very smooth, very compliant. Let me go ahead and show you the lane keep assist feature. I'm going to go ahead and let go of the wheel once these two cars pass me, and then I'm going to drift to the left here and you'll see. So lane departure, it pulled me back in the lane, it gave me a warning. It does the same thing with emergency braking as well. It's going to give you a warning on the dash, and then you'll feel the braking happen to slow you down and keep you safe. At highway speeds, this thing is super smooth. You're going to get great fuel economy out of this car, which is also wonderful. Even over the chopped up section of the concrete on those expansion joints, very compliant ride. Going back to the whole MPGs, you're looking at around 25 in the city, 36 on the highway. So this thing really sips fuel really well, but it does have a nice sporty feel, especially when the road gets twisty. It's really has a great feedback to it, and you could use this every single day and not have an issue. Plenty of room inside and inside that trunk as well. But hopefully this gives you some great feedback and direction on whether a Honda Civic Sport is right for you. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll see you back at that undisclosed location. So don't tell anybody. All right, guys, it's been a wonderful day here at this undisclosed area. I definitely gotta give a huge thank you to Davis and everybody at American Honda for allowing me to receive a press fleet vehicle. This is going to be the first of many to come, but definitely this Honda packs a big punch at the price point with a manual transmission. Great choice. But if these are the types of things that you like to see on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep bringing you great content, click the link in that description. It'll take you to Spreadshirt. Get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Speaking of needing help and being a friend, Big Guns McGee, Tom Moschner, he would help out anybody, especially if you are a Rady's Rides subscriber. So check him out on Instagram at Mosh Photos. Check out his photos of amazing nature and just wonders of the world. I think he actually caught the 7th wonder of the world just recently. So definitely check him out on Instagram. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.